From very serious to silliest of the reasons, I've seen background verification failing for a variety of reasons. So make sure that you do not miss any part of it, because you want to be for sure safe, at least in this area of your career. So with that, let's get started. So here I've included a draft of what is a typical background verification email looks like, so you can, for your reference, look at it. So it's twisted a little bit here and there, but more or less the email looks the same, and it comes with the attachment of the relieving letter which the company has provided you. Say for example, you joined some ABC company, you were working in my company before, so that ABC company will send this kind of email with the relieving letter which I or my company gave you when you were going out. So that letter will come to me, this email would come to me. So you can see here there are different fields, and if you have faked any of this information, whether it's the CTC, job title, or the manager you were reporting to, it will come to my notice. So make sure you provide the correct information, and obviously the letter that has come attached with the email is the relieving letter that the company provides you. If you fake it, the person will know for sure about it. Number one silliest thing that I've seen people do is that they give wrong information on their resume, and then when it's time for background check and when they give their actual document, their resume information and their actual documents do not match. So either the dates are mismatched, or somebody has faked their percentages, or people have written a wrong mode of education. Maybe the person has done it from distance, the education, and they mentioned it like a regular education on the resume, and when they submit their documents thinking that resume and background verification are totally two different things, and nobody's going to cross check them. So guys, for your information, most of the companies do cross check both the things, that whatever you wrote in your resume speaks to what you actually are producing for background verification check or not, because you have been shortlisted basis your resume. So if there is a mismatch and you have faked information, or maybe it's a typo, so make sure that before you move ahead to that background verification part, you clear out if there is any mistake on your resume before you reach that level. Otherwise you'll lose that opportunity for silly reason. Number two is even more serious mistake, that is the documents that you have furnished, they are giving a false information. Maybe you have faked the documents, or maybe you have played with them a little bit here and there with the dates, duration, or maybe the whole experience itself and what the actual thing is. Maybe it's your scores in the school, or maybe it's experience. Maybe you were on a gap but you wanted to fill out that gap and you got some random experience letter from XYZ company. So those can be very easily found out. So make sure that you do not produce wrong information, wrong documents, because it can cost you your job. On number three is the platform information mismatch, which is most of the big companies have their background verification outsourced to a third party company, which is then sending a link to the candidate to fill out the information on their platform, basis which they then go ahead and do the background verification. So here I've seen a lot, I don't know why people do this, look at your certificates and then put the dates, because if you have filled something else, basis your assumption on their platform when you are filling the background verification form, but when you attach or give the certificate, it has a different date, those two things will be mismatched then and there, and it will give a red flag in your report. So now let's move on to answering some very big questions about BGV, and number one is the most frequently asked question, that is if that a candidate has already joined the company and background verification report is still running, it has not been completed yet. So in this case, if any discrepancy comes, will the employee be fired in that case? Guys, to be very honest, it will impact that employee. Of course, that employee will be told that why you are being fired or you are let go, because your background verification report has come negative, so and so is the reason. There can be cases where the company give a chance to explain to that person that what went wrong. If it is like a typo or he didn't intend to, it is like a small mistake, he might get a chance to explain there, but nothing is guaranteed. So the person has to go even if he has joined the company, if the background verification fails. Moving to our next question, which is, do you need to submit your original document certificates to get through the background verification? No guys, your soft copies are more than enough. They just need to know which university you went, what does the scorecard look like. Companies do not need your original certificates. If any agency, any company, any background verification vendor is asking you to submit your original documents, you do not need to. You do not need to submit your original documents to anyone. Please save yourself from such scams. Your soft copies are more than enough. Next question, do companies charge anything for background verification? Absolutely no. Background verification is their requirement, so they will bear the cost associated with it. Employee does not have to bear any cost related to background verification whatsoever. If someone is demanding money from you on the name of background verification, please save yourself. It is a pure scam. Doesn't matter if the company is small, big, medium, doesn't matter. Nobody asks for money for background verification. Save yourself if somebody is asking you for money for doing a background verification. It's a scam. It's not a job. They are not going to give you a job. So please stay away. So next question on the list is that background verification is done for how many years of employment? So guys, this varies from companies to company, but mostly I see that 5 to 7 years is a typical time. Your past 7 years, till your past 7 years of employment will be checked, but there are companies who go 10 to 12 years also, and there are companies who do a complete employment check. Doesn't matter how many years it has been for that employment, they will do complete history check of yours. So next question on the list is that a company where you worked in the past, it got shut down, or maybe you moved out of a company because the company closed its operation and it's no longer existing in the market. So in such cases, how the background verification will happen? So guys, in such cases, there must be a registration number that a company had when it was operating, because obviously small, medium or big, all the companies are registered with Government of India and they have those TIN and CIN number, the certificate of incorporation it's called. Mostly it's mentioned on the offer letterhead that you see, and if you do not see the CIN number mentioned on the letterhead, then please ask CIN numbers from your HRs if you're working in a smaller company, because if you can provide CIN, then it can save your background verification. But the background verification agencies visit physically on the space mentioned, the address that you gave, to check if few years back there was a company mentioned with that name that existed in that place. So people do visit physically. So do not try to fake information. If you have mentioned about some random company which never existed, thinking that you'll get away with it because you can always say that what can I do, company closed down. So it doesn't work that way. Background verification agencies are there for a reason. They do their work religiously and there's no way to escape out of such things. So do not do that. Next question is that if you give fake documents, then what happened? Hear me out. So if you have given fake document, as in you spoke to your friend who has a company and you asked an experience letter from them, that you give me the experience letter for this timeline, maybe you were on a gap or doing something else, and they gave you the experience letter. So in such cases, if they have also updated their database accordingly, for example, if the HR who is sitting there and who is accessing the data to respond to the background verification email, if he or she can see that data present in the database system and can see the payslips and everything which is in sync with the letter that you have been provided with, in such cases it might not harm you because it will come out as green. But if you have just spoken to a friend and he just randomly printed a letter for you, gave you that, but there is no sign of your name, your employee ID, your payslips in the database of the company, and when your company HR receives such mails and responds that we do not know such an employee, then you are in trouble. Then you are in big trouble and you will lose out on your offer for sure. Okay, so next question is how your education is checked. This is a really frequent question asked by graduates or young professionals on my channel. So guys, for education, vendor agencies write email as well to the universities, and sometimes they visit the colleges as well. If the email has not been responded by the university or college, a person specially visits the college to find out the information from their department. So yes, they do visit. So that's why please never fake your information. Now there are two more checks that are done by companies. So the first is address verification. The address that you provide, that you have been living there for past 10 years or 7 years. So it's very important for the company to know that you are an authentic person and you do not have some sort of disturbing history. As such, disturbing, I mean that you are a legit person, you do not have any criminal history or something of that sort. So the address verification is done by a person personally visiting the address. So make sure if you were staying in PG or something of that sort, which is not like a permanent address, take the addresses properly of there, or you know the name of people who would be found there when somebody visits that place. So all of those things really matter when it comes to address verification. So next come a very less known verification, which is credit verification. It happens mostly for people who are into finance position, or especially people at any profile on a very high management roles, and it's done by third party agencies at a very deep level, where companies try to find out that you have not done any financial fraud in your previous company, or you have not done any kind of fraud in taking, while you took loan you never repaid it, or something of that sort, that you have not messed around and you're somebody that can be trusted upon. So last but not the least on the list are criminal checks. We all know about them. So criminal checks are done for everybody, doesn't matter fresher, experience, the small level or big level, whatever level you are at. Criminal checks are very important and are done for everybody, and these days cyber crime checks are also done, because those kind of cases are coming more and more these days, so companies are doing that check as well. With that guys, I think I covered most of the information related to background verification. If you still have queries or questions you think I've not answered in this video, please make sure to put that in the comment section so that I can answer them there, or I can do a follow-up video on that if there are any questions related to that. Or if you have come across a situation where you feel there was a totally different case in your background verification, please put that also, because that will definitely help others to get educated, to get aware about that scenario, and it will be a great help from your side. So with that guys, we came to the end of this video. I really hope you derived some value out of it. You keep on watching more content on corporate diaries, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.